In some people with MS, like me, MS symptoms, they seem to be worse at night. There are some clear reasons why this happens. One is muscle spasticity, which is a symptom of MS. It's worse at night because the muscles are not as active as during the day, and it can make it harder to fall asleep and can interfere with sleep quality. That was me. My symptom was restless leg syndrome. If you've ever experienced it, you understand how it drives us crazy under the sheets. It's true that restless leg is not a true MS symptom. I mean, millions without MS suffer with it each and every night. But for me, it absolutely was an MS symptom because I never had it before I developed it. Not even once. I tried various solutions, from electronic stimulation devices to taking medication, which ultimately increased my fatigue, but nothing stuck long term. In retrospect, that's a good thing. It's actually great. Instead of sticking a Band-Aid on it and getting some temporary relief, it drove me crazy, and it drove me to going deeper and finding a permanent solution. So let me ask you, how often are you hit with the typical solutions? You know, things like don't drink caffeine or alcohol later in the day, and make sure to create a bedtime ritual. And we all can't forget, dim the lights before bed. Are you serious? Is that a solution, or is it just common sense? Let's identify a real solution. Melatonin. You and I, we've all heard about melatonin. And it's a hormone produced by our pineal gland. And so it's no surprise that it's effective, but we don't know why it is for MS. Recent evidence suggests that secretion of melatonin is dysregulated in MS patients. Is that dysregulation somehow tied to MS symptoms feeling worse at night? What would happen if we were able to bypass that dysregulation and supplement melatonin directly? Would it have a lasting effect? That's what I've been doing for years. I think that by doing it allowed me to get better sleep, which in turn allowed me to overcome my restless leg. Now, I'm not saying beating my restless leg is proof remyelination is responsible and it's happening, but now that I'm 100% confident, I faced the precipice of what MS can do to me and beat it into submission. I am not blind to see that melatonin supplementation played a large part. I go on and on about why I think remyelination is happening in other videos. What I want in this video is to talk about my recent melatonin enlightenment that happened. I say enlightenment and not disaster because that momentary disaster became a light bulb moment for me. For years, I have been taking a melatonin supplement called Remfresh. my subscribers know that you've been watching me for years and you know about all my love for Remfresh. I tried various strengths and finally settled on the largest strength, the max strength 10 milligrams. So, enter the disaster. I don't know why they did it, but the makers decided to stop making the 10 milligram version, only offering the 5 milligram version instead. Well, I had to make a choice. Buy the 5 milligram version and double the dosage every night, which meant spending twice as much, or jump ship from the Remfresh and venture out and search for an alternative. At first, I chose the first option, sticking with the Remfresh, and bought the 5 milligram version. But something inside of me just kept on churning inside of me, and I just was never confident in that. It's that frustration that drove me to where I got. And I only used it one night. I did buy the 5 milligram version, but I only used it one night. Because browsing Amazon, I discovered my enlightenment. When I first saw it, I didn't know what to make of it. A melatonin patch. You know me. I quickly started to scour the internet to learn as much as I could about this product that up until now I had never heard of. I was surprised to discover they had been making it for a decade. Melatonin patches emerged as an alternative to oral supplementation. Both melatonin patches and slow-release melatonins work. However, there are a few specific advantages of melatonin patches that they have over slow-release pills. The biggest is that melatonin patches provide a consistent and controlled release of melatonin during the night. You could argue that slow-release tablets do the same thing. But after testing it for a few weeks, I realized they aren't. And I can confidently say that this is huge. And far and away, the patch is better than a tablet. Don't be fooled when they say don't be fooled by the makers of time-release melatonin tablets when they say they're the same. True tablets can mimic the time-release effect, but they are unpredictable. For instance, just the fact that the acid in our stomachs can affect how quickly the melatonin is released is a factor we frankly have no control over. So there is less variability in the rate melatonin is released into the bloodstream with patches because they just simply bypass the whole digestive tract entirely. After trying a couple brands, I struck gold with Myelin sleep support patches. Their content is slightly less with 7 milligrams, but I go off what the end result is. Combining the patch with my daily water consumption technique, I sleep throughout the entire night. I put the patch on about 2 hours before my head hits the pillow. I sleep soundly until the alarm wakes me up in the next morning. And it's not restless, pathetic sleep I used to have. It's refreshing energetic sleep. The exact kind needed to fight MS and restore myelin. Are you eager to try this out for yourself? If you do, write down in the comments about your impressions of it. I suspect you are going to fall in love with them just as much as I have. As always, thanks for watching. You made it this far to the end of the video, so why not like this video as well? Until the next one.